The plastic industry market in India is one of the country's leading sectors of the economy. The history of India's plastic industry can be traced back to the production of polystyrene in 1957. Since then, the industry has made significant progress and rapid development. It is spread across the nation with over 2,000 exporters. The industry employs over 4 million people in the country and consists of 30,000 processing units, of which 85 to 90% are small and medium-sized enterprises. India produces a variety of products such as plastic and oilcloth, household items, ropes, fishing nets, floor coverings, medical supplies, packaging materials, plastic films, pipes, and raw materials. The country's major plastic exports include plastic raw materials, films, sheets, woven bags, fabrics, and waterproof oilcloth. In 2021, India's total plastic consumption amounted to approximately 21 million tons, a 23-fold increase compared to 1990. However, the per capita plastic consumption in India is still less than half of the global average. In 2021, India's per capita plastic consumption reached 15 kilograms, a significant increase from 1 kilogram per person in 1990. This indicates a steady growth in the demand for plastic in India, making it an important consumer sector. In terms of population growth, according to United Nations data, India's population has increased from approximately 1.1 billion people in 1990 to 1.45 billion people in 2021. The massive population base has driven the growth of plastic consumption. In terms of economic growth, World Bank data shows that India's real GDP has increased from around $590 billion in 1990 to approximately $3,010 billion in 2021. Sustained economic growth has provided strong support for the plastic market. Regarding changes in the industrial structure, Indian government data indicates an increasing importance of the manufacturing sector in the Indian economy, including a corresponding growth in the demand for plastic products. In terms of industry demand growth, India's automotive industry, construction industry, packaging industry, and consumer goods industry have shown a continuous increase in demand for plastic products. For example, the automotive industry has an increased demand for plastic components and lightweight materials, the construction industry has an increased demand for plastic pipes and building materials, and the packaging industry has an increased demand for plastic packaging. These data provide quantitative support for the phenomenon of growing demand in the Indian plastic market and further demonstrate the impact of population, economy, and industry on plastic consumption. The existence of this data further reinforces the trend of steady growth in the demand for plastic in the Indian market. What measures have influenced the demand for plastic consumption in India? Firstly, the Indian government has implemented regulations prohibiting or restricting the use of disposable plastic products in some cities and regions. These measures aim to reduce the use of single-use plastic items such as plastic bags, bottles, and cutlery, directly impacting the demand for plastic consumption and the structure of plastic consumption. Secondly, the Indian government has regulated the plastic packaging industry by establishing plastic packaging standards. These standards may include requirements for packaging material quality, recyclability, and biodegradability. Companies must comply with these standards, which may lead them to adjust their plastic consumption and packaging strategies. The objective of these policy regulations is to adjust and guide plastic consumption behavior, encouraging businesses and consumers to adopt more sustainable ways of using plastic, reducing the scale of plastic consumption and its impact on the environment. At the same time, these policies also provide opportunities for the development of alternative products and solutions, promoting innovation and transformation. The total plastic exports from April to September 2022 amounted to $6.38 billion. During the same period, exports of plastic raw materials, medical supplies, and pipes and fittings increased by 32.3%, 24.8%, and 17.9% respectively compared to the previous year. The cumulative export value of plastics and related materials in 2021 to 22 was $13.34 billion, showing a growth of 33.4% compared to the $10 billion worth of exports in 2020 to 21. Plastic raw materials accounted for the largest export category, representing 30.7% of the total export value in 2021 to 22, with a growth of 26.5% compared to the previous year. Plastic films and sheets were the second largest category, accounting for 15.2% of the total exports, with a growth of 32.7% compared to the previous year. In May 2022, the export value of Indian plastics and oilcloth was $1.073 billion. During the same period, plastic medical supplies, plastic films and sheets, plastic pipes and fittings, fiberglass and composite materials, packaging materials, ropes, fishing nets, and monofilaments, as well as miscellaneous products, recorded strong growth. The cumulative export value for April and May 2022 increased by 2.6% compared to the previous year, reaching $2.173 billion. In recent years, the scale of plastic imports in India has shown a steady growth trend. Although there was a decline in import value during 2019 and 2020, significant growth in plastic imports was achieved during the period of 2020 to 2021, indicating a significant increase in India's demand for imported plastics. India's plastic imports cover a wide range of commodities, including plastic granules, plastic products, and plastic sheets. According to Tendata, India's plastic imports show a correlation with population growth. Before 2020, plastic imports experienced negative growth, but starting from 2020, the growth trend of plastic imports has remained consistent with population growth, indicating a certain correlation between population growth and plastic imports. India exports plastics to over 200 countries worldwide. The top 5 importing countries for consumer goods and household items are the United States, Germany, Japan, the United Kingdom, and France. India mainly exports plastics and related products to the United States, China, the United Arab Emirates, Germany, Italy, the United Kingdom, Bangladesh, Nepal, Turkey, France, Vietnam, Indonesia, and other countries. The Indian plastic industry reached $2.4308 billion in 2021 to 22, showing a year-on-year growth of 63.6%. China is the second largest consumer of Indian plastic exports, with an export value of $883.5 million. The United States and China accounted for 18.21% and 6.62% of the total plastic exports in 2021 to 22, respectively. Statistics show that compared to the proportion of India's PVC imports from China in the global imports in 2020, China's position in the Indian market for PVC has improved. Furthermore, there is a growing trend in PVC trade between China and India, which is significant for the trade relations between the two countries and the export market of China's PVC industry. The goal of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in India is to increase the country's plastic exports to $25 billion by 2025. The country is in the process of establishing multiple plastic parks in phases, which will help increase the manufacturing output of plastic in the country. According to the Plastic Park Scheme, funding up to 50% of the project cost or a maximum of 5 million Indian rupees per project is provided. Government initiatives such as Digital India, Make in India, and Skill India will also drive the development of India's plastic industry. For example, under the Digital India program, the government aims to reduce dependence on imported products from other countries, which will boost local plastic parts manufacturers. The government has also initiated a plan to establish centers of excellence to develop existing petrochemical technologies and promote research environment in the industry. This will help promote and develop new applications for polymers and plastics in the country. Additionally, around 23 central institutes of plastics engineering and technology have been authorized to accelerate financial and technical collaborations to enhance skills in the chemical and petrochemical industry. India, as the world's seventh largest economy and the second most populous country, plays an important role in the global trade with its export industry structure. With the progress of economic reforms and globalization, India's export industry shows a diversified and evolving trend. The export industry in India covers multiple sectors, with the plastics industry being an integral part of it. The Indian plastic industry has a broad market prospect as it exports globally. Tendata can assist you in conducting market analysis for the plastic industry and support your import-export trade business. If you are interested in detailed analysis reports for the plastic industry, please feel free to leave us a message. See you in the next video.